In today's lesson, we're going to go over the different types of xiao. The term xiao became the standard relatively recent in Chinese history. In ancient times, all flutes were referred to as di. And actually, Chinese musical history begins with gudi, or bone flutes, about 8,000 years ago. Now, over the years, to distinguish vertical from horizontal flutes, we have used a term like shudi, which means vertical flute. However, with the variety of different vertical flutes throughout China, this doesn't really specify the xiao too well. What sets the xiao apart from other flutes is that the xiao has a notch cut into the mouthpiece. And this helps to create different dynamics, different sound production, different techniques, all through the embouchure. Right? This is actually true of the Chinese panpipes, the Bei Xiao, which means a row of notched flutes. But to really standardize the term, dong xiao literally means a holed flute. The holes referring to the sound holes that we use to do different finger placements, to create different pitches, and also perform different techniques. So dong xiao means a holed flute. But once again, dong xiao is a standard general term that may refer to a few different styles, different makes and models that we have today. Those three main styles are Bei Xiao, Nan Xiao, and Qin Xiao. The Bei Xiao is the northern style xiao. So this is kind of the standard flute. This is what we're referring to when we say dong xiao most often. Okay? It is a very uniform xiao in both shape and in tone. Right? You can see it's a nice straight piece of bamboo. Sometimes it is a single piece, but it can also be sectional, either 2 or 3 sections, depending on the make and the quality, I suppose. It can come in a variety of different musical keys, different embouchure cutouts, different sizes. Also, the end cap might be different for this one. There's no like set amount of rules, right? There are some aesthetics that it follows as far as like balance and shape and size and bore diameter. But typically these are your beginner flutes. These are the most friendly to start with. And they have a really great aesthetic that can be applied to a very large range of music. After that, we have one of the specialty dong xiao. We have the Nan Xiao. So this is the southern style xiao. And this is pretty reminiscent of the Japanese shakuhachi or chiba. So you can tell right away that it's a lot shorter in overall length. We have a bigger diameter. We have a wider bore width as well. And this also has an open face embouchure always with a very sharp notch cutout. And then we have the root structure attached at the end as well. So all this together creates a very breathy, a very loud, very powerful sound. Right? It can be a little bit more difficult to play because of the breath control required, but it can be very expressive in those lower pitches. It has a very warm tone to it that resonates through the thicker bamboo. Nan xiao typically come in G or F key. And finally, we have the Qin Xiao. Now the Qin here refers to the guqin, or the Chinese 7-string zither. This instrument is much more personal, very intimate, often used as a solo instrument, much like the xiao actually. However, a Qin xiao has been crafted with a much more narrow piece of bamboo. It also has smaller cutouts for both the sound holes and the embouchure. Now together this creates a soft, subtle flute with a very nice aesthetic that can be used to accompany a guqin without overbearing on it volume-wise. Okay? Now, the fine breath control and the sensitivity required make it a much more difficult flute to master, but the payoff is you get a very dynamic flute, very sweet sounding, very nice subtleties throughout the Qin Xiao. Personally, a Qin Xiao is what I find myself playing the most and just getting lost in. So there you have it. These are the 3 different styles to the vertically played Chinese bamboo flute. To recap, we have the Bei Xiao for uniform performance. We have the Nan Xiao for those wild, expressive tones, and we have the Qin Xiao for those soft subtleties. These are dong xiao.